Happy Monday, Facebook. I hope you're doing well. Are you doing good? I think so. Looking at a lot of your statuses, and seems like everybody is in a happy place. And I want to congratulate all of you who've gotten your goals achieved and spiritual desires met and things like that. So I pray and expect all to be well. Monday is just a day. Monday is never designed to be some bad day. Monday is just a day. And you make Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday, and Saturday, and everything else what you need to make it. I won't hold you long. I just want to talk about this inner genius of yours, this inner genius. Let me hear you say it. Inner genius. Yeah, yeah. Just get used to the word genius. When I was coming up in church, words like brilliance and intellect and intelligence and genius and wisdom, empowerment and expansion, those were how you doing, Wendy, and everybody, Tremaine and Myron, those were words like were forbidden. I guess they were. Anything that seems like it expanded you as a person outside of spiritual familiar words were banned, almost like you couldn't say classical or brilliance or what have you. It was because it seemed like it promoted self. Growing up, I didn't understand really that I was the how you doing? That I was the divine nature of God or what have you. But it's not about that. Genius. Say it. Genius. And this is why I'm saying this. You never know the day or the hour. You never know the day or the hour when God is going to cause life to stop responding to your emergencies. You never know when God is going to put a APB out or a bulletin out into the atmosphere where life will no longer respond to your emergencies and cause and allow your emergencies to become its priority. You never know the day when God is going to say, that's it. You never know when God will stop rescuing you and allow that genius within you to awaken on its own. And there comes a moment where God will stop you, but you never know. He doesn't send you an email. He doesn't send you anything to warn you, to let you know that I'm not going to reach out for you. Now, he's going to rescue you, but this time he's going to allow you to allow that genius within you to stand up and solve the problem yourself. But he never warns you. You know what it's like when we're growing up and when we're desperate and things are happening. God is there and we could see it, and he puts everybody in place, and there's that person with the money, there's the person with the co-signing, there's the person with this, and you like, God, work that out. But you never know when you're 24 hours away of God working it out another way. You never know when he says that's it. You never are prepared for the genius to awaken in you. So that's why I entitled this thing Genius. Because there's going to come a time when life will stop making your emergencies its priority. And that genius solution making ability is going to rise up, and you're going to learn how to solve the problem. Patience is going to come. Patience and endurance and ability and patience and peace and settledness is going to come, because God doesn't always warn us when he's not going to be there the way we're accustomed to him being there. In other words, he's not going to tell your spirit, now tomorrow I'm not going to be there the way I've always been there. He never lets you know that. He never warns you, okay, now Andre, I'm not going to be there the way I used to be. Now, Bridget, I'm not going to be there for you the way I used to be for you. Myron, I know you're accustomed to me being there. Tremaine, I know you're accustomed to me being like this, but I'm not going to be that way. He never tells you when he's going to disappear. God never tells you when he's not going to appear in a familiar way. He never warns you and lets you know, now this is the last time. Now something's going to happen next week, but I'm not going to be there. Because he's allowing the pressure of becoming to cause that genius of yours to awaken and for you to learn how not only to solve problems, but how to create a rhythm for your life where it's almost stressless and stress-free. Sometimes you can't depend on other people to make your life stressless or stress-free. You have to depend on how you build your life. How many of you right now are building a life that's stressless or stress-free? See, you have to allow that genius to wake up within you where you begin to create a rhythm, because you can't depend on other people to keep you in peace. You cannot depend on the outside world to make everything good in your world. You have to create a world, a rhythm, not just a prayer life, but a rhythm of decisions, a consistent rhythm of decisions. Say that. I have to build a consistent rhythm. I have to establish a consistent rhythm of decisions. I have to establish a consistent rhythm of decisions that will stress proof my world and this is reality, because there is a way that you can keep drama people out and peaceful people in. There is a way that you could establish how your rhythm or your world or consciousness is going to be. There is a way to do it. This is not just some kind of talk. This is real if you get out of complacency and move it. You feel me? This is real. Let me hear you say this is real. See, there is a genius in you. You don't see, God never warns us when he's going to no longer react to your emergency. He never lets you know, now this is the last time. He never tells you, okay, I'm not going to let your emergency be my priority. And he will put that APB in the atmosphere and life will go on with trouble and all. Things that happen to us and life will live and act like it don't see what's going on. That's what causes a lot of stress in us. And it causes us to get out of place and out of rhythm because we have a need that needs to be met. And God never warns you that he is putting you in a position so your genius can come forth. How many of you understand what I'm saying? See, when God stops making our emergencies his priority, it allows us to sit back and create a type of life that will have God continually in it. A God way, a God standard, a God discipline, a God mind, a God understanding, a God a comprehension. Not just the person of God, but the brilliance and mentality and the mind of God. Not just a mind on God, not just a mind on church, or a mind on godly stuff, a mind on I need to escape, but a mind as God, a mind like God, a constructive, comprehensible, masterful, order-filled mind, a brilliant, risk-taking mind, a mind. I feel you, man. A mind of God, not just a mind on church, but not just a mind on religious dogma or religious practice, but a mind as God, creative, order-filled, disciplined, brilliant-filled mind, an out-of-the-box mind, a lifestyle that is attracted to the decisions that we're about to make. A lifestyle that will attract the decisions we're about to make. A consistent brand of life-altering decisions. A consistent establishment of it. And that's your genius. Let me hear you say genius, Myron. Bridget, let me hear you say genius. Yvette, let me hear you say genius. Because see, he's not going to let you know I'm not going to be there. Something's going to happen with our finances. And so we say, Lord, I need you to move. Well, he's not going to let you know when something happens with your money, I'm not going to be there. He's allowing your genius to solve what to do. He's not going to rescue us. You can find the scripture and read it and say, come get me, God. But he's not going to warn, he's not going to let you know. He's just going to appear to be absent. When God appears to be absent, he's empowering your genius to stand. The God seed in you, as you, for you. When he allows himself, repeat after me, when God appears to be absent, he's causing your genius to be present. When God appears to be absent, he's causing your genius to be present. God disappears in order for your genius to appear. And we can't be afraid when it seems like God is slow. God is never slow. I know there's a song, he may not come when you want him, but he's on time. That's right. God doesn't come when you want him, but your genius is constantly on time. He's allowing the fruit within you to come forth. He's not going to block the genius. He's going to sit back and allow the genius to come forth. And that genius should compel you and I to start establishing some rhythm-shifting decisions and establish some rhythm-shifting circles of companions and to establish some rhythm-shifting thought processes. And after a while, even your ministries that you're connected to must be able to speak into that rhythm-shifting life of yours. It's not a matter of, I'm just going to any church. No, you have to have spiritual conundrums that can speak into that life-altering shift of yours. Not just speaking to, I need to hear an organ when I preach. I need to hear an organ to shout. There comes a time, I'm not saying you're not going to shout or dance, but there comes a time now your spirituality is establishing and framing another world for you. How many of you right now, your spirit, the Holy Spirit, is framing another world? It's framing a different world for you. Now, it's framing not just a Sunday morning world or a Sabbath world, but it's framing a life world for you. And you need a word that speaks to the rhythm of that thing. You need a frequency that speaks to the rhythm of that world you are in now. You need constant companionship and friends and business partnership that creates a rhythm in that world. And you create it by decisions, and a constant move from complacency. A constant move from complacency. Complacency is when you're angry against people who are trying to push you up, and you're angry with people who are speaking condescending to you. In other words, I'm angry if you compel me to do greater. I'm angry if you speak to me in a below sense, in a degrading sense. It means I'm mad if you move me high, and I'm angry if you talk to me low. It means I'm trying to hang in the middle. I'm trying to hang in the middle. And as long as you live in the middle, you will never see the genius of your life. What is the middle? I pull away from people who I fear is trying to push me up. I don't want to be around people who convict me to come up all the time. And I hate being around people who speak condescending to me. So you try to find comfort in the middle. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something about the middle. The middle is dangerous. You will never discover your genius with a consistent agreement of living in the middle. You understand? So the genius comes. God never warns you when he's not going to appear. And so when God does not appear the way you're familiar with it, that's him compelling you to get out of the middle and allow this genius to come forth forever. See, God will not allow the genius to come forth for a problem, and then once the problem is solved, you descend back to the middle. Because once you come out of the middle and come out of the hole, you have to stay out of the hole. Once the genius appears, you can't go back to the warm cover of complacency anymore. And sometimes we want the genius to come out to solve the problem so we can finally rest in the middle. But God will never warn you when he's leaving or when he won't appear, because he wants to evict you and I from the middle, from complacency.